KYMA Studios. This is News 11's Evening Edition, your #1 source for news in the desert Southwest.
Welcome back, everyone. November is Military Family Appreciation Month, and we took a look behind the scenes to recognize the people who love and support those who protect our freedom.
That's right. News 11's Molly Lang is live in the studio to show us what it's like to be a military spouse, to be left behind but never forgotten. It's a News 11 special report. Molly.
Irene, Nico, two local military spouses say even though it's sometimes difficult, they are honored to be married into the Marine Corps, and they wouldn't have it any other way.
The desire to make a difference and serve selflessly inspires many to become Marines. They fight for our country and put their lives on the line, but there are those behind the scenes, Marine wives, often left behind but never forgotten.
Why don't you tell me what the hardest thing is about being apart?
Him just missing out on everything.
Brides envision the type of life they'll have, but as a military wife, things can be a little different.
If they've never experienced it before, no, they have no idea what they're in for.
There is no training manual.
The few, the proud,
empowered.
Olberding's husband joined the Marine Corps after they were married.
I just didn't know what this life brought with it. I had no idea. I think that was the biggest thing. There were so many questions. I didn't know what it meant to be a Marine Corps spouse. I just had no idea.
When husbands enlist into the Marine Corps, the wives sign up too.
The next day after he had enlisted and done all the paperwork and everything was September the 11th, the infamous day that we all know. And so it really kind of changed our whole life. It changed the real trajectory of what I thought what we were doing, and I thought the mission that we were going for. It made a huge impact on our whole life.
Olberding learned what her role as a Marine wife meant.
I had the ability to still accomplish goals, raise children, have a job, volunteer. You know, I was still able to live my life and yet support him in the way that he needed to be supported.
Her friends ask her how she keeps it all together.
And I do feel that I've had to be a cheerleader and champion for other people's causes, and people weren't necessarily checking on me.
The biggest piece to the puzzle is patience.
You kind of instantly jump to maybe something bad has happened, especially if you're not getting some communication back from him.
Touche grew up in a military family.
I knew the military life. I didn't necessarily know the Marine life, but some people consider moving to Japan a deployment. I mean, I really didn't. Since I was going with them, I didn't really consider it a deployment.
Even though he's overseas, she and her husband are able to talk daily.
Twice a day, if not more.
What does he do to help you ease the distance?
He lets me know what's going on over there. Nothing specific, but lets me know that he's doing okay.
She has gone through 4 deployments. When Touche needed her husband the most, he was able to be there.
Because of me being a high-risk pregnancy, he had to wait on orders.
Their daughter is now 12 years old.
Sometimes I think that this may be the last time that I might end up saying something to him.
Military wives work to keep the family connected.
This is like a superhero coming back into their life. They're so incredibly excited. And as a mom, trying to make sure that we had done all the things that we could to get Dad caught up on life.
Olberding was awarded Spouse of the Year by MCAS Yuma. And her husband put her in for it.
He is my hero. I couldn't begin to know the level of stress that he carries with him every day.
Above all, they are the foundation of the family.
Ever been a time that you're like, can't somebody else do it? I just want you home with me.
Has been times. I mean, every military wife out there asks that. I mean, regardless of the rank of their husband. I mean, regardless of their husband's title. I mean, every wife has asked that, even though good majority of us already know what the answer is. I mean, sometimes it just feels good to just ask that question.
And the best part is when he gets to come home.
Just being able to spend time with him and, actually be able to not have to worry about him having to run onto base because they need his help.
Each military wife's story is a little different, but they say they all feel honored to support them from the home front. Touche hopes to have her husband back home safely by Christmas. Live in the studio, Molly Lang, News 11. Back to you.
All right, Molly Lang, a great story there and kind of an insight to the life of the military spouse, because, we have some women who are deployed and the men stay home. It plays a huge role in our community.
It definitely does, and you don't even realize the hardships if you're not really in that role. So
yes. So a big thank you to all our veterans in advance of Veterans Day and to the spouses as well, right?
Absolutely.
News 11's Molly Lang is live in the studio now with a look behind the scenes at the life of military wives. Molly.
Irene, Nico. I interviewed 2 Marine Corps spouses to see what it really means to be a military wife, what they were expecting, how it really is, and how they handle the distance. Military wives have a special job. They support their husbands from the home front. I spoke to 2 wives who have had 2 totally different experiences. Each wife deals with deployment and military life a little differently, and each story is unique. They may not have known what it takes to be a military wife before they were married, but throughout their marriage, they have learned about themselves and what their role is as a Marine Corps spouse.
I knew the military life. I didn't necessarily know the Marine life.
I just didn't know what this life brought with it. I had no idea. I think that was the biggest thing. There were so many questions. I didn't know what it meant to be a Marine Corps spouse. I just had no idea.
One of the women I spoke with was awarded Military Spouse of the Year. She'll tell us how she found herself and what she learned about being able to live her life and support her husband as well. I'll have more in the evening edition where we'll tell you what they wish they could change and how one says she wouldn't have it any other way. Back to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Molly.